Hello and welcome to Louise Singleton Creations. In today's video I will be making beautiful bird-shaped tea light holders using Aqua Cast water-based eco resin or casting compound. Some call it eco resin, some call it casting compound, but whatever you want to call it, Aqua Cast is absolutely incredible. One of the many reasons I love it is that it's very easy to paint, and that is what I'm going to be doing today after I have finished casting my bird-shaped tea light holders. So if that sounds good, stay tuned and enjoy the video. When I saw the mould that I'm using today, I just had to treat myself to it. I absolutely fell in love with it. And if you know me, you'll know I do love birds. They often appear in my videos. And yeah, again, today I'm making birds. This mould is gorgeous and it's deceptive because it looks like it might hold quite a lot of Aqua Cast, but it doesn't. You don't need to mix up much at all, so that's another bonus. So it's quite an intricate mould and it opens at the side, so it needs clipping at the sides, and yeah, that's the place where it needs a lot of attention because that's where the bird's beak is. And so you'll see that I'm just going to drop in a little bit of Aqua Cast and manipulate it with my micro brush to make sure that the Aqua Cast has got into that little beak. But after that was done and the clip was on, it was plain sailing. Now, because the bird's wings are completely enclosed in silicone, it's a perfect place for all those bubbles to congregate as they race to the top of the liquid. And so it needs a lot of tapping and banging to manipulate all those bubbles and get them to come up through the, to the centre where the hole is, where you pour the Aqua Cast. It's like if I was talking to you in person, I'd be using my hands and kind of demonstrating with my hands, but I've got to put everything into words when I'm narrating my videos, and it's tricky. But I'm hoping you're getting the drift. The bubbles have to come up to the middle and they're kind of trapped in those wings. So yeah, lots of tapping and banging. And once I'd finished all the tapping and banging, I got my air compressor, which I like to put next to my levelling table to vibrate it. It works really well for vibrating the levelling table. People have mentioned like vibrating mats or something. I don't know what they are. They often say in the comments you need a vibration mat. Well, I don't have one, but my air compressor works really well. So why buy something that I don't need, eh? I'll just use what I've got. I left my Aqua Cast about 2 hours before demoulding because the beak is quite tiny and it's in there tightly in the silicone. I didn't want to snap the beak off, so I gave it longer to cure. And yeah, I'm speeding up the demoulding because it took me a while. It was my first time with this mould and I wasn't sure the best way of demoulding it, and I was just being very, very careful. So yeah, it did take me a couple of minutes to get it out of the mould. So once it was out of the mould, I was blown away by the texture on those wings. All that detailed feather texture is just stunning, and I knew that once that was painted, it would look even better. So because the mould has that join in it, the likelihood is you will get some Aqua Cast seeping into the join a little bit, but it's not a problem at all. As you can see here, I just use my craft knife to gently scrape it away, and the Aqua Cast is still quite soft, so it's very easy. And once I'd got rid of most of it, it was just a case of sanding it a little bit and it was sorted. So to sand it, I used a bowl of water, for my sandpaper so I could wet sand it. You do get a slightly smoother effect if you wet sand it. And I started off with a coarse grit, 100 grit, and then moved on to 400 and then on to 1000. And after that was done, it was nice and smooth. The next day, when it had dried out, it was time to paint it. And for this one, I decided to make my own paints using a method you might have seen me use before. And it's just by using hydroflow sealer, which is from Elichem Resins, which is where the Aqua Cast is from too. I just add a little bit into my palette. And then once that's there, you can add whatever colour mica powder you like and mix it in. And that way, you've made up your own paint, and it works so nicely with Aqua Cast. So the first colour I selected is one I've had for a long time, and it's Hollywood Gaze from Resin 8. I don't even know if they're still around, are they? Not sure. It's been a long time since I bought that one. So you just add as much or as little as you want, depending on the strength of the colour you want and the thickness of your paint. That turned out just about right, so yeah, it was a lucky guess. So I just tried it out on the base of the bird just to see what the coverage was like, and it looked good to me, so that was ready for painting. I selected a brush that I was comfortable with and that was nice and long and thin and easily able to get into all the nooks and crannies and all that fine detail that's in there. You know, I love all that detail that you get with this mould. It's one of those things where the finished piece, you just want to stroke it and feel all the different textures. It's absolutely beautiful. And I do realise I am biased. I am actually affiliated with Buwan Nicole and with Elichem Resins for the Aqua Cast. So yeah, you do need to make your mind up for yourself because you don't know if you can trust me, do you? But most of you will know by now that I speak the truth. And I absolutely love all the moulds I've had from Buwan Nicole, and this is definitely one of my favourites. And while I'm on with the subject of being affiliated with them, if you do decide to purchase something from Elichem Resins or from Buwan Nicole, I would be very, very grateful if you could use my link, because I will earn some commission and the cost will be just the same to you. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind, if at any point you decide to buy something from there, come back to my video and find the link, and that helps me so much. You know, I can't explain how much that really does help me to pay my bills. Painting around the head area was probably the most challenging part, but I took my time and I got there. Yeah, just take it slow. I find painting so relaxing. I don't know about you, but I could sit there all day painting these birds, just taking my time, and you're free to just think about things as you paint, aren't you? So yeah, it's very relaxing. And yeah, it was just, didn't really have a plan with the head. I was just trying out different things and seeing what looked right, adding to it if necessary, and yeah, I just kept going until I was happy with it. So after a while, it was time to make up another colour, and I decided to do another Resin 8 powder, which you probably don't need to know the name of, but it's Deep Lake. And so there we go. It's so easy to make up the colours that you want. I think it's such a great way of making your own paint using the hydroflow sealer. And you're sealing your pot at the same time, or whatever it is you're making. So it's dual purpose. I think the second colour complemented the first really beautifully, and the finished result was quite an elegant effect. The second bird that I'm going to do will be very different, with much more bold colours, because I want to do a pheasant. So yeah, the second colour was beautiful, but that was not the last colour. I decided to go for something else for the tops of the wings. So for the tops, or should I say shoulder areas, I decided to go for like a gold white colour. I was just finishing off a bottle. It's nice to finish a bottle of pigment off so you can get rid of it. Honestly, I've got so many tubs and bottles of pigment. It's ridiculous. So yeah, anyway, I mixed up that white gold. I added a little bit of the blue in there just to bring them all the colours together a little bit more. But I made this paint thinner and I brushed it on, and while it was nice and wet, I added some more of the darker blue pigment to get that wet on wet effect, and then it blended in, and yeah, it was quite a nice look because the darker colour went into all the cracks and you got a really nice effect. So yeah, I was happy with that. So zipping forward, this is my first bird, almost finished. I did give it a gold beak off camera with my chrome marker, and I did do the eyes as well. I'm very myopic. I have to look very close up for tiny details, and you wouldn't have been able to see me doing it because my head would have been under the camera. But anyway, I'll show you it properly finished at the end. This is my second bird, and as you can see, I added pigment to the Aqua Cast this time. It was Autumn Harvest from Homeware Designs. And this is my inspiration picture for reference. I absolutely love pheasants, and we do see them every now and again where we live. They're absolutely gorgeous, and so yeah, that's my inspiration for this one. I think the actual mould, the actual bird is supposed to be a dove. From looking at it, it looks like a dove, but the head was a similar shape to a pheasant's head, and I thought, well, let's try that colouring and see what happens. So yeah, let's fast forward because honestly, I took a long time on this one. I'll just show you different bits of it, and I'll meet you back when it's finished. And I almost forgot a very important thing that I didn't say. This time I'm using acrylic paint. I'm not making my own paints. You could probably see that for yourself, but I thought I'd mention it. These are acrylics, and these also work fabulously on Aqua Cast. Okay, I think that's enough of me talking. Let me play you some music while you watch the rest of the painting. And this music is actually written and performed by my husband, Brian Singleton. Okay, so that was a lot of painting, but I tell you what, I enjoyed it so much. So now is time for the finishing touch. I found that by using a gold pencil crayon over the texture, it made a really big difference. It just made it stand out, and some of the bits you might not be able to tell. It was hard to pick it up under the camera, but in real life, it makes a big difference. And so once both birds were finished, I was very happy with the results. I'm not sure which one I like best, but I do love them both for different reasons. All that was left was for me to light the candles. Let's have a look. There we go. I think that pheasant is beautiful. I do love pheasants. And there, that one's very magical looking. So yeah, I'm very happy with the results of these. And if you would like to try out this mould too, I will, as I said before, leave the link in the video with a discount code. And the same with the Aqua Cast. Aqua Cast is a must try. If you've never tried it, you must give it a go. They do sell it in the United States as well. So look out for those links in the video description. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do if you would like to, that is. And I will see you again next time. Thank you for watching and bye for now.